Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Wife cheated at Bachelorette party. Fake friend exposed her. My M36 wife, F34, cheated on me back in 2019. I was blindsided and I wanted to share because I was told my reaction was a little unhealthy. After I was played like some kind of fool, I wanted to understand why some women were so untrustworthy. My wife had shown me she had no loyalty, even though I did what I needed to keep her happy. Me and my wife got married 6 years ago and we were in a good place from the beginning. I worked handling the accounts at my company and she was a STNA nurse when I met her. We rented a nice house and weren't in any real debt. We were good at managing our money, so spending wasn't a problem. We communicated easily, worked well as a team, and getting physical at night was easy because she was just gorgeous and kept her looks up always. Our family had gotten along well, and me and her brother Jacob were practically best friends. He worked as the custodian at the hospital she worked at thanks to their mom, and we always looked out for her little brother. My wife was clearly an independent woman, and she could always think for herself. She always had a sense of confidence and demanded respect from me and Jacob. We didn't have kids, but I felt like if we did she would be a good inspiration. But the problem with her was that she had toxic friends around her. The way they talked about each other made me feel like they were more like rivals than anything. They would talk about each other all week, but party together and claim they were sisters. Not only that, they would get into terrible arguments, especially when they were drunk. I can't count how many times they had a falling out with each other. Then the next week they would go out on a girls' trip to be on vacation. I was told that girls secretly compete with each other, so I thought it was just typical. It could be annoying, but I just took the good for the bad. I just thought it was normal between the 5 of them. The affair happened when her friend Erica was about to get married. Before the marriage, it's normal to have their wild party, so my wife and her friends left that night to throw Erica the party they planned at the hotel. I knew they were going to be out all night, so I didn't bother waiting for her. A couple days after the wedding, I was getting ready to hop in the shower that night when I heard my phone ringing in the bedroom. At the time, I wasn't sure if that's what I heard, so I just hopped in the shower. When I came out the shower I saw I had 6 missed calls, and they were from the same number. This was weird to me, so I didn't call the person back since I didn't know who this person was. When I was in my living room the number called again, and even though I didn't know the number I decided to pick it up. When I answered, nobody answered me back at first, and all I could hear was a girl talking to a guy in the background. After saying hello 3 times I just hung up. After that, they called again and I immediately picked up the phone. This time the girl answered me back and I realized it was one of my wife's friends. I asked her friend, let's just call her Jasmine, why she was calling me. She immediately started calling my wife names and said she cheated on me at the party. This had put a real fear in me, but I still said she didn't know what she was talking about. She said she did know and that she had recorded it as proof to show me. I asked her what she was talking about and she told me everything. She said at Erica's party, they had hired some guys to come there and dance for everybody. Since my wife was extra friendly to one of the guys, he kept coming back to her and he had crossed the line with her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but at the same time I knew this kind of thing wasn't uncommon. After hearing me not say anything for a minute, Jasmine said if I wanted the evidence she would send it to my phone. I told her to send it to me and she said to hang up while she got ready to send it. After about 5 minutes she sent me 4 video files, and when I looked at them I collapsed on my couch seeing the proof. I called Jasmine back and she asked me did I get it, and while being choked up I said I did get it. She started calling my wife names again and told me she was sorry for how she acted. I asked her why she would do this to somebody she claimed was her sister, and she never gave me a direct answer. She just said my wife and her friends were a bunch of hypocrites and called them fake. I asked how she got my number and she reminded me that my wife called her from my phone asking directions for her dinner party she had at a restaurant. She said she was done being their friend and said that Erica was doing bad things too. Jasmine said to talk to my wife about it and I told her she was at another friend's house at the time, but I definitely was. After hanging up, I was falling to pieces. I knew I had to confront her. There were 4 full videos of my wife being with another guy. But after that, I didn't know what my life would be like and how she could do this to me. I never trusted these parties, but I didn't think it would happen to me. I don't even get invited to these things. When my wife got home I confronted her as soon as she walked in the door. I asked her how she was doing and she said she was tired but fine. I told her I never asked her how Erica's party was and did she have fun. She seemed caught off guard a little, but she said it was fine. I told her Jasmine said she had a fun time, and that she even recorded her to show me later. She looked spooked and asked me what I was talking about and I showed her the videos of her and the guy getting it on that night. First her jaw dropped, then she screamed at what she saw. She begged me not to leave her, and said Jasmine was doing this because my wife had replaced her with somebody else to be one of Erica's bridesmaids. She said her and Erica got into a big argument about it with her and Erica uninvited her from the ceremony. When I heard this, I could kinda see why Jasmine was mad, but not to go this far though. It didn't matter to me because I told her I was getting a divorce and that's exactly what I did. Through the whole divorce, both of our families wanted us to reconcile. I was told even though she shouldn't have done it, it was a special night for them and I wasn't supposed to have known. I told them that was supposed to be for the bride, and even if she was I wouldn't stay with her. I couldn't believe my wife was doing this with this guy, especially in public. After finally getting divorced I still couldn't leave the situation alone. I got in touch with other guys that dance and asked them about getting women. I even asked women. The women said they don't, but no girls who did it for extra money. The guys I asked said they get girls all the time, especially the bride. One guy said when he started, it wasn't like that at first. But the women started wanting it, and it just became normal. When I told my friends this, they said it was unhealthy and I should stop talking to them. I don't know, I guess it was just how I was handling it at the time, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I just couldn't get those videos out of my head, especially when the guy knew she was being secretly recorded. Right now my ex-wife lives in her own apartment close to her job somewhere. I used to see her family once in a while and they still asked me to forgive her because of the circumstances, but I can't do it. I hate to admit it, but Jasmine was right when she said my ex-wife was a fake friend, but apparently her love was fake too. Now she doesn't regret it, I hear. Thank you for reading through all of this and please continue to stay genuine. Damn. Just read your story and honestly good for you, but seriously man, you should speak to a therapist. Sounds like it's still eating you. This. Good luck, hop. Take care of yourself. You did exactly what you needed to do. Thankfully my friend thought it seemed a little obsessive to talk to the male dancers. But I guess I was kinda looking for answers. Of course she's going to say she doesn't regret it. You humiliated her and showed her up for the skank she is. It's her way of saving face. Well done, you. The downplaying by your wife and the family is mind-blowing. Just take your wife giving ABJ in your stride. On the chin. Move on. You did the right thing, bro. You're a good man. Never lower your standards. The fact she said to you the girl did it because she was removed as bridesmaid. It's as if this was nothing. If you stayed you would have doubted everything from there onward. There is a difference between being the life of the party and being a self-absorbed smuck. Just think, if you stayed you would have stood next to the bed after she delivered your first child. Your first thought would be, who is your daddy? I can understand your way of grieving. If something bothers me I pry it open. The only thing that never made sense and I could never understand is how you can get married. Say your vows. Then go and cheat. Whether it's an inch or all in. It's there and it's a choice where the BS has no faculty of choice, nor is he or her considered. I like to read these threads where you get BS with conviction enough to say no. Glad you valued yourself to walk away. She can now give BJ at all her friends' bridal showers. One more thought. Do you think your ex-wife gave BJ to all the strippers at her bridal shower? She guaranteed that. Your whole marriage was to a self-centered idiot. When you're on your own away from you, so that which you default to. That shows you character. Be glad you never had kids. If you had, you would have had to do DNA testing. Good luck, bro. Suddenly thinking of your ex-wife's bridal shower 7 years ago puts everything into perspective. The girl who told you should get a big bunch of flowers. She saved you from a bad marriage. After this, I know she probably did. She did have her own bachelorette party in Vegas with the same girls. Enough said. You would have been in for a life of misery. I walked after giving chances. The only thing I regret is the time wasted with those chances. Upside. Shortly after, I met and married my wife. What an amazing life I had. You will always distrust. But my wife knew about the cheating. From day one she has been open about devices and her going about. She is very family oriented and does not attend any functions without me or the kids. We were invited to a friend's wedding. If it says no kids, the answer is done. I had 3 daughters. That thing where they say a daughter is a father's child and a son is a mother's child is true. I live for being a dad. When I die, my job will advertise and replace me. But my wife and kids will suffer greatly. So I changed my outlook. My wife and kids get quality time with me. The job gets me professional for as long as they pay for it. But I rarely volunteer. My kids and me do long distance rifle target shooting. We do scuba. Live life full. I have been married for 20 years. It's a blink of an eye. Good on you and live strong. Don't know whether I am more shocked about her cheating on you in such a public setting or about the reaction of everyone when you found out, telling you to take the circumstances into consideration when she cheated on you. As if they are telling you that it is normal to cheat on your partner during a bachelorette party. I wonder if they all would say the same if it would have happened to them. I hope that you got tested for STDs afterwards and that you are clean. Wish you all the best on your way forward. What I can't understand is the relatives wanted you to sweep it under the rug as if it didn't happen. Where are her relatives' morals? Whores will be whores. Right. Especially with what I saw on the videos. If you lived in SC or MA, you could probably get away with uploading those videos to a porn site, but I don't recommend it. It definitely could go on a porn site. But I deleted them after I used them. It would probably spread if people knew it was revenge for cheating. I bet your ex ducked around all the time, so be glad that you divorced her ass. She and her friends did it all the time, you just got lucky that they had a falling out and Jasmine told you. Birds of feather flock together, you know. Tell Erica's man, he deserves to know just like you. I'm not going to tell Erica's husband because I don't know what she did. And I'm pretty sure this happened before with my ex-wife, especially at her own bachelorette party. Yes, but you can tell him all you had knew about your wife, then it's up to him if he would go deeper or not. I will think about it. It was about 3 years ago, but I think I should leave it alone, especially if I don't have evidence. I know the guy, he's going to want evidence, otherwise he's just going to make his peace with it. No, you need to tell her husband, because you said the dancers said it's usually the bride. So I wouldn't doubt that Jasmine did it too to Erica as well. Remember, she was mad at your wife for replacing her, just Erica was the bride who did the choosing. Wife and Erica just as guilty. That's true. But I can't come to him 3 years later with no evidence saying that his wife might have cheated on him. I just don't know what to do, especially since she's just going to lie to him. Erica would have definitely lied about it if she did something. Even those you deleted the videos, you tell him what Jasmine told you. Wouldn't you want him to tell you, if he knew first? Tell him that's the reason for your divorce. Let him decide what he wants to do with it. What if she is still cheating? Are Erica and your ex still hanging out having girls' night? might want to ask that question. He has a right to know what happened at that party. I'm a female and I would want to know what my husband did at a bachelor party if someone showed me a video of my husband. Think about it. Why would Jasmine just dime your wife out? She was not the bride, she didn't decide on who were the bridesmaids, and she called them all hypocrites. Your wife was not the only person she videoed. She is vindictive and out to hurt others, over a place in the bridesmaids line. Hell, I would tell her husband also, because she got off on videoing her friends. She may be blackmailing some of them. Tell all the other significant others, this is not about misery loves company, but about honesty. Can you loom at the other men and not think that it was only your wife, considering what you said about their fights? They were all guilty and did this girl's night cheating on a regular. Not cool. All the husbands need to know. I'm a female and I would tell them. Now from you he will know the real reason why you got divorced. If others were involved doing the same thing, do you honestly think they told their so's that only your wife did the deed? That doesn't make sense. Jasmine is a snake in the grass and not to be trusted. Her man would be the first to know what she did. She is not trustworthy either, because she filmed someone without their consent. I already know what Erica did at the Bachelorette party. Like I said, Jasmine told me, I just don't have the hard evidence because I know he's gonna want some. I had always assumed Jasmine would tell him since she brought it up, but I don't keep track of Erica and her husband, so I don't know what happened. I don't want to revisit what happened 3 years ago and open a brand new can of worms. Besides, it would be my word against Erica's. Jasmine isn't exactly a credible source right now. I hope Jasmine sends the videos to the other husbands and boyfriends too. I don't understand what you did that was unhealthy. And I would have drained her account and gone for alimony. Thanks, I don't think the way I acted was unhealthy either. Talking to the male strippers did kind of seem obsessive, but I'm glad I talked to them. Plus, I don't think you can help the way you grieve. In all honesty, I usually do give advice for people who need it. But you handle everything properly. You felt disrespected and you dipped. That's a lot of self-value, and don't let anyone else tell you differently. You were the bigger person and that hurts her more. She lost her life over fun and now all she has is fun, which feels like an empty bow that she won't come home to you. She probably compares people to you when she tries to date as well. You did really well up. You were such a bigger person. I personally just wish she more of a face slap, metaphorically. That's not how I grieve. That's how I would have confronted her. With a bag of her own money. 2 plane tickets for a vacation. And the names on the ticket being me and her friend that outed her. I wouldn't don't anything with the friend, their group seems like awful people. But she did a solid, then I would have shown the vid. And dipped. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I hope you find peace and that the universe will send you somebody worthy of your love and respect and will return it tenfold. Also, your ex is trash. Hat in hand in front of you, sir, you did what was supposed to be done. I personally would avoid talking to anyone that pleaded for reconciliation under the pretext of a special night, far too low morals on their side. Shame on her and them. I sympathize with you, my friend. You did absolutely the right thing by leaving this depraved betrayer. You yourself understand that the reason for cheating is only in your ex, and not in her friends or in guys. Tell me with whom thou goest, and I'll tell thee what thou doest. She threw away a good life for one good time. Now you know the kind of person she is. You did everything I would have done. I wish you good luck. 2 of the biggest indicators of a woman's propensity to cheat are, 1. A deep-seated need for male validation of her sexual attractiveness, and 2. Alcoholism or binge alcohol consumption. I used to think prohibition was stupid, and I guess it was, but you can't even imagine how many lives and relationships are being destroyed by alcohol. Sometimes women will, on girls-only outings, drink to let down their inhibitions to fulfill their unconscious desires. And, if they are caught, they can then claim to their so that they don't remember because they were blackout drunk and would never cheat when sober. Sounds like your ex was guilty of number 1 and number 2. Props to you for taking the hard line on her cheating. Also I hope you outed her friends to their so's. It seems like ducking randoms is a regular occurrence for their get-togethers. What do you mean being with another man? Like, was she actually shagging him in front of everyone else? She was sucking on him in front of her friends. And that was just one video. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.